Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and another video for Technique Junkies. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to paint here with some perfect pearls. And let's go ahead and get started. So what I have here is I have the Magnolia branch from the May release of Technique Junkies. And if you're looking to purchase any stamps, you can use my discount code for 10% off. TJ Color 10. I have a piece of navy blue cardstock that I'm going to start with. And the first thing I want to do is I want to get my stamping platform out, and I'm going to stamp in silver. And let me zoom out a little for you here. Because I'm going to be coloring in, and I just need to see where I'm going to color. So I'll put this in the corner here and just put my magnet down. And I'll grab the Magnolia stamp. This is such a pretty stamp. I love this stamp. So many things you can do with it. I just can't wait to play with it some more. But this will be the first. So I'll go ahead and grab my silver. And I'm just going to use the Delicata. And you can't see it very well. You can see it better in person than you can see it on camera. But I just need kind of a guideline for painting my flowers. Give it a little bit more. And we're good. I'll go ahead and get that out of my stamping platform here. And I'm going to leave the stamp right where it is. So you noticed I had that paper butt up against the corner there. And I need it to stay in the same spot. So I'm just going to move the whole platform with the stamp in it off to the side. And now I'm going to grab my paper. And what I'm going to need is I'm going to need an embossing pen. And I'm going to need my perfect pearls. And I live in the South. And magnolias here are usually white with a little bit of color to them. Either a pale pink or a pale yellow or both. I don't know. I have to think of them in my mind because there's none in bloom right now because it's still kind of winter. Let me go ahead and just put a different piece of paper down here so hopefully you can see better what I'm doing. Plus that, I have a place for the embossing or the perfect pearls to fall. And I've got a little brush here. So I'm ready to go, but what I want to do first is I'm going to color in. And I'm just going to color in with the Wow embossing pen, just as if you were coloring something regular, but I'm going to start with everything that I see that I think needs to be white. And I'll show you a couple, and then I'll do the rest off camera of each color. So you want a good juicy pen. You can also, like I have the embossing dauber. I've been known to take the little felt lid off of there and dip my paintbrush into it. So you could do that as well if you don't have a pen. Or you could take a paintbrush and dip it directly into your Versamark. So now I'll take my brush and I'll just start to brush the white pearl onto here. And it's going to look weird, and no worries, that's part of the process. So you just kind of rub those pearls in until you've got coverage. And you can move it around, and then you can move off the excess. Try and get it back into the pot best you can. If not, whatever. Stuff lasts forever. So if you see any little bald spots, just go back in with your pen and fill them in. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect, but you definitely want a full coverage to get the right effect. So now I'll just take a little brush and just brush off the excess, brush it right back into the pot. And then sometimes I like to take a little rag, like a dry paper towel, and wipe off as well. So I'll color the rest off camera. There we go. We've got all the white done. So next I'm going to go in with a little bit of yellow. And I'm just doing it. I'll show you here. I'm just taking a little pen and just like drawing in little kind of, I don't know, accenty pieces. Shading, yeah, we'll call it shading. And I don't know why I just did that. That's a leaf. Oh, no, it's not. It's a bud. And see, I'll spread this yellow in. And it'll give you that kind of shading that you're looking for. There we go. Just doing a few more spots. Just to kind of get that two-tone color. You could do this on black paper. You could do it on a deep red paper. You just want to, with Perfect Pearls, they just show up a lot better on a dark colored paper. So I've got in most of the yellow I want. I think I'll put a little bit here in that little bald spot too. Yeah, and fill that one in a little bit better. Sometimes you can just pack it in. You can wipe off the excess. And there's not enough excess there for me to attempt to save. So I'm just going to brush it off. And then I'll take a dry rag and just wipe the whole paper. Very simple. All I have left to do is my green. And you see that silver just kind of disappears on you. So I'm just going to go in and color in all the parts that need to be green. And I do a little bit at a time because I don't know how quickly the stuff dries. So I feel better if I just do a little at a time and then move on. But the green parts are pretty easy because it's basically just branches and leaves. And I'm only doing one color. I'm not going crazy because I actually only have one green Perfect Pearls. And I'll do this first part and then I'll do the rest off camera. Isn't that pretty? Love it. Okay. Here we go. Now I've got all the leaves done. Now on to the next step. So I'm going to get my stamping platform back out. And I'm going to put my paper back down into that corner. Put my magnet down so it doesn't move on me. I'm going to put my lid on my pen so it doesn't dry up on me too. And I will use anti-static on here just because I don't really want any major gold flecks everywhere. I mean, if you wanted gold flecks, you could do them. And I'll be doing embossing in just a Ranger Gold. So the anti-static powder won't hurt the Perfect Pearls at all. And I'm going to use my Versamark and just lay it onto the stamp there. And I'm going to lay it directly down right into that Perfect Pearls. Okay, and I do like to go in twice just to make sure because there are parts that probably lifted of Perfect Pearls and didn't get a perfect adhesion. So I'll do a second time to make sure that I've got that Versamark ink everywhere. And then I'll take it back out of my stamping platform, lay it down, and get my embossing powder on here. And I just dump it all over and then tap off the excess just like any other embossing. And if you see any other extra on there, you can always clean it off with a little brush. And that right there, I believe, is anti-static powder, but just in case, I wiped it off. And then I had my heat tool heating up in the background, and I'm just going to emboss this. You could do it with black, you could do it with clear, you could do it with any color you really wanted to. Green, purple, whatever your heart desires. Okay, just making sure I get every single bit there. I'm known to miss spots. So now you have this metallic kind of golden and silver and green kind of design. And what I'm going to do is just squirt a little bit of water on there to kind of set that perfect pearls, because it has a built-in resin, so if you set it with water it won't come off, which is super cool, I think. So what I need to do here is I do need to cut this down some because I'm going to be, matting it and stuff. But here I'm just going through and making sure the paper's dry, but I don't want to put too much heat on it because I don't want it to warp up on me. I'm just going to work at straightening it out a little bit. And I'm going to actually grab one of my square dies and I'm going to cut this out. Now this is a 4.5-inch die. So I think it's the biggest one I have, or the second biggest. I'm just going to kind of frame this flower in there, and then I'll tape it down with some of my mint tape. And I'll go ahead and cut it out with my vagabond. All right, I'll be right back. All right, we have this cut out, and now I want to mat this on some gold, but that gold piece is way too big. So I'm going to trim that gold piece down to 4.5 by 4.5. Just measuring that to make sure, because I just want my gold mat just to stick out a little bit. There we go, happy with that. So I'll go ahead and stick that down. And if you get any like specks of gold, you can use your mono sand eraser to get them off. Okay, so let me grab my glue here. Nope, I think I'll pop this up instead. I'm going to pop it up onto the matte layer. And maybe overkill with the tape, but I can't help myself. I'm afraid something's going to collapse, so I like to just be on the safe side. So I spend a little bit more money on tape. Whatever. Could have worse things to spend money on. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the backer off that tape, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here so I have a little bit of wiggle room. And I'm just going to use my Distress Collage Medium because it's slick. It does, and it takes a little bit longer to set up than the normal adhesive that I use. So I have some room to move this around a little bit. I know with that particular foam tape I have, it sticks. Once it sticks, it's stuck. You live with it. So I've got this little pre-made thank you that my friend sent me from my stash. And I'm just kind of, again, auditioning where I think I want it to go. Then I'll go ahead and glue this with my normal glue this matted layer onto the card base, which is a 5.5 by 5.5 square card base. And I'll just lay a little piece of something heavy on it for a minute. And, oh no, this is actually one I made. It's from Altenew. I thought it came from my friend. Oh well, that's what I get for thinking. And I'm going to use the Distress Collage Medium to glue that down too, because it dries matte. So if I accidentally get glue, it's going to be clear and matte, so you won't see it. And I'm just going to, I don't want to cover up, a bunch of my magnolias, so I'm going to lay it right there. And I'm going to grab some of my confetti sequins here. I like these because they don't have a hole in the middle. I don't know why sequins with a hole bug me. They just do. I'm just going to use that same collage medium, and I'm going to lay it down where I want the sequins first. And then I'm just going to lay the sequins down onto it. Pretty simple. I'll do 3 right there, and I think I'll do 1 down with the white and 1 just below the thank you. And there we go. We've got our sequins on there. We've got our card done. I hope you like it. I hope you try this technique. It's a lot of fun, and this stamp is gorgeous. Again, these stamps are on sale for 15% off until the 8th. And then after that, they go back to normal price, but you can still use my coupon code TJ10Color to save 10% on everything from Technique Junkies, except for the Gotta Have It All bundle, which is already discounted. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Take care. Thanks again. Bye-bye.